Okay, here goes. I am going to attempt. I got out my husband's razor, and it doesn't work on this doll's hair because it's more of a mustache and beard trimmer than anything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut most of this hair off, but I'm going to want enough that I have something to hold on to. So let's go ahead and just cut that off. Okay, so there's that. The bulk of it's gone. Okay, so now that that's done, let's see if we can get this back off of this doll. So let me see if I can find some scissors here. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. It looks like somebody had already attempted this before because it's been re-sewn. So let's go ahead and take these off of here. Let me see if I can find my little scissors over here somewhere. Let me go around the camera. Okay, I got them. So let's try it. Okay, I think that neck is on with a one of those plastic hooks, but I'm not really sure about that. Let's see if you can see in the camera what I'm doing. You can't. Okay, let's try it again. There's another piece of string here. Okay, so there is the neck. And you see that metal bar in there, that plastic strip in there? That's what's holding the neck on. So I have some of those. So I will just replace this once I finish cutting it off. So I'm taking I forget what these are called. I'm going to cut it. Okay, it's not cutting. Let's open this up wider. Probably not seeing any of this. Yeah, I cut the fabric if I do it that way. So let me figure out how I can get this out of here and get it cut. This is one of those twist ties. I'm not going to be able to do this. Okay, well, I'm going to have to try this again. Nope, it's not letting me. Okay, I'm going to go get my husband and see if he can get this thing cut out of the doll's neck for me, and then I'll be back. Okay, I have got this cut off. I did have to use my blade here, and I just cut it. Finally, it came off. I have only one of these twist ties, which is a little bit thicker, but I've tried it on the doll's neck, and it'll fit in here. So I can just use this as a replacement tie for the doll once I get it restuffed and put back together. Okay, so here is her hair. I've cut her hair completely. Well, this little bit off, and I don't want a blunt cut on this doll's hair. So I went to see if I could find my husband's razor, but it's nowhere to be found. So what I'm going to do is use my own. So mine's just a plain old Norelco shaver. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shave the hair, and the reason I'm doing it this way is because I don't want a blunt cut. I want it to look natural. So let me show you. I'm only going to do a little bit of it so you can see what I mean. So this is just a regular shaver. I'm going to start with about, maybe an inch around. Let's start from the back so I can know what I'm working with. So I'm going to give the doll, since it's going to be a boy, I'm going to start with about maybe an inch and a half. And what I'm doing is I'm just rubbing that along the razor so that it won't be blunt. It's going to take me a while to get this whole head done, so I'm not going to do the whole thing on camera. But you see the difference between this cut and what it would be if I used a pair of scissors? Let me see if you can see that. Yeah, see, so that's going to be the cut of the boy's hair right there, so it'll be blunt when it lays down. So it's going to be down like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around the doll's head, and then I'm going to give it a condition and a wash, and we'll take off all of these, the coloring on the face too. So let me see if I can get that off right now. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got out my 100% acetone, which is going to take off any painting on her face. And then I've also got the 70% alcohol to see if I can get rid of any of the staining that I'm not crazy about. Okay, so there's what I want to do. What I want to do is see the eyebrows on this doll. I think they look more male than just the simple lines that they have on these dolls' heads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the acetone and see if I can remove those eyebrows so I can paint on better looking eyebrows that look more male than female. So let's see how that's going to work. I think I bought this at CVS, the 100% acetone. I couldn't find it anywhere else. So let's just move that on her eyes. Okay, be careful not to touch anything but what you absolutely want gone, because if you do, you're going to take off all the coloring off of the doll's face. Okay, so there is one eyebrow gone. Let's do the other one. Okay, that eyebrow is gone. So now our doll has no eyebrows. So that's 100% acetone from CVS. And that will take off your doll's face. See that little mark there? I'm going to try this. Probably should do alcohol, but let's give it a shot and see if it'll come right off. It does. But it's taking all the coloring off. She has a little blush on her face. Should have used alcohol. Yep, I should have used alcohol. Now I'm going to have to blend that in. Okay. Okay, did you see that? I got too much of I should have used alcohol on that little beauty spot. Okay. So that's that. Let's get rid of this, whatever that is. Okay. So her lip color is very muted. I think I can leave that the way it is and she'll still look like a boy. So all I gotta do is give her some bushy eyebrows now and get some of the rest of her hair all cut out, and then we'll style it somehow. Okay, so I'm going to get to work on the doll's hair. It's going to take me a while to get this all cut up the way I like it. So once I get it cut up, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, here's where I'm at on the head. I ended up leaving it longer than I will when I'm finally finished, because I don't know how this hair is going to wash up. But I tried to cut the hair so there was no dull ends. The easiest thing that I did was I did go ahead and trim it all the way around, and then when I saw these like dull edges here like this one, I took my razor and just tried to blend it in a little bit so it wasn't such a rough cut. And I just did it right along with the hairline so it'll blend into that hair. But I don't want to cut too much off because I don't know what it's going to look like after I finish washing it. But anyway, that is I left a little curl here in the, not a curl, but a little bit of a ducktail in the back, so it'll cover up that the bad frizz here on the bottom once I can get it to lay down flat. So the next step is to wash the hair, and then once I get the hair washed, I'm going to give him some very thick, heavy eyebrows, and I think that will help make him look more like a boy. Maybe spike his hair up a little bit like this off to the side. So I might trim his bangs here a little bit also. But we'll see once I get the hair washed. Okay, so that's it for today. I'll get his hair washed, and I'll even put some of that STP on here to see if I can make it more conditioned than it is. But see how that razor, it sort of blends that hair in, and so it's not all straight cut. You know, when somebody cuts the doll's hair, you can tell exactly they used a pair of scissors and did a blunt cut. In fact, this is way too blunt. Let me get that out again. Okay, well anyway, that's where I'm at. I'll show you when I start doing his eyebrows. Okay, let's stop that shaking. Here's where I'm at. You know, because the doll had such a thick body, what I did is I removed the legs, and the legs are a little different on this one than they are on an American Girl. They just are popped in through this unit here, and then they're sealed. They're held on tight with this plastic, like ring washer or ring nut, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, I tried to get the black marker off of the doll's leg, and what happened was I ended up removing the paint completely from the doll. Do you see that? I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not, but I did. I wiped the beige coloring right off of the doll, and the beige coloring is just this color right here, but I was able to get the black marks off. So when I paint the eyebrows in, I'll try and match that up a little bit so I can fill that in. I took a bunch of the acetone and I wiped away the beige paint, thinking that maybe I'll just take the paint off completely and go down to this beigey color that's underneath it, which I think is more natural looking anyway, but that's a big job, and this doll isn't really worth it because it's got the plastic markers. You can tell it was the form marks on this doll. You could tell it was not it was a cheaper doll, not one of the better ones, because you can see exactly where the mold ended up going. So anyway, what I'm going to do, because she had such a wide bottom, I remove the legs, and then I'm going to go get my sewing machine and put some heavy-duty thread on there, and I'm going to sew this back up, only I'm going to go in, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch. That would thin the doll down a 1/2 inch all the way around the back, which will thin out her backside so she won't be so wide and she'll look more like a boy. So that's my next step, and then I'm going to put the legs back in, and I'm going to restuff him and get him back into shape. So you see what I mean? Here's the doll's body, and then you see the back. She was very wide across her bottom, so I'm going to thin it out a little bit, and still make sure I have enough room so the legs will move easily. Okay, so that's where I'm at on that.